and welcome back to another, what should be a Warzone Wednesday. Raid?
Yes.
I hope you know that you've gone and disappointed pretty much everybody.
Okay.
How does that make you feel? Do you feel bad?
No.
Do you feel a little guilty for raining on everyone's parade?
No.
Really? On today of all days, Warzone Wednesday, you choose to throw a wrench in the mix. Not only is it a wrench you've thrown, but it's a damn console controller gamepad.
Maybe.
I don't know what to say. I could say I'm disappointed, but at this point, it's pretty obvious. But look, what we need to do is have a good attitude and make the best of this challenge. And yes, it is a challenge. It's going to be a challenge. Raid, can you raise that camera? Raid?
No.
It's literally your job.
Possibly.
No, it's literally one of the things you're built to do. Is raise the camera. Can you raise the camera?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. There you go. That's perfect. It's actually perfect. All right, thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, hello everybody. Hi Nemo. Hi Renetta. Hi Dr. Ravenholm. It's wonderful to see everybody. It's wonderful to have everybody over. But I'm actually freezing cold right now. I feel like Raid, when I first put him in engineering, complaining about how cold it was. I'm gonna have to fix that. Hold on a second. Okay, we're back. It's gonna be a little warmer now, hopefully. Hey, Neil Satan, the Spaniard are here. Ha, my friend, welcome, and happy what would have been a Warzone Wednesday, but instead it's not. Your 8-year-old asshole brother just kicked you in the balls. Oh, good grief. I'm sorry to hear that. Hail Satan, that sounds on par with Raid canceling Warzone Wednesday, so I know the pain you're feeling. It's good to see you all. And I'm very... Oh, no, my God. You can't hear me. Music's too loud. I was just saying hello to the Spaniard, and hello to Hail Satan. I'm super happy to have you guys here. Yes, sorry about that, Wernetta. Raid used to be the one who pushed the buttons. I quickly learned that he would not be responsible enough for such an important task. So now I'm the button master, and even I forget from time to time. It's good to see everybody, and apologies for the disappointment that Raid's cancellation brings. But here's the exciting part, okay? Yesterday, we spent hours talking, building a config for this DualSense PlayStation 5 controller. We are not gonna do that today, because I have built a config. I didn't have very much time to build the config. And I guess that's part of Raid's challenge, is to not give me very much time to build the config. Which sort of doesn't seem like it's a great idea, because how am I supposed to demonstrate demonstrate a config, and all of the possibilities when I don't even have any time to figure out what those possibilities are. Gosh darn it. Well, who knows? But we're going to figure it out, and we're going to figure it out together. I'm going to show you what I've built. We're not going to go crazy with anything. But then we're going to jump into a game. And one good thing that I'm excited about is that Roboquest, as you guys know, I'm a big fan of this game. Roboquest received an update. I think it was even today. So yeah, you know, and congratulations to Milen, who is a TRICOM member and the head of Rise Up Studios, who makes Roboquest. So my friend, if you're watching, congrats on the update. Hopefully it doesn't break anything, and I'm really excited to check out what has been added. The changelog is huge. I have perused it. I have not dove deep to see what's new, but every time there's an update for Roboquest, I get excited. So that takes a little bit of the discomfort of canceling Warzone Wednesday, and it converts it to a little bit of excitement. So that's nice. But Ray, understand, this does not. You're not out of the woods. You've broken a lot of hearts today. A lot of people are upset with you.
Okay.
That doesn't bother you at all, does it?
No.
Okay. Well, so here's the challenge, everybody. Here's the challenge. To build a config for Roboquest that adapts to how I don't know how to play games with a gamepad. So understand something. I don't know how to play games with a gamepad. Even though I play games with a Steam controller, I don't know gamepads. And I don't use the Steam controller like a gamepad, and all my configs are not similar whatsoever to typical gamepad conventions. So I can't exactly just load up a regular old gamepad template and jump into a game and have a good time. It's not going to happen. I want to be able to snap and shoot and aim at my target quickly, and I want to move fast, and I want to look while I'm jumping. All of these things that are not the easiest things to do when you're just using a regular gamepad. Now, luckily, this DualSense controller, as we know, has a pretty phenomenal gyro. And in fact, the previous PlayStation controller had a pretty phenomenal gyro. And even our own TRICOM member, Critical Composer, who is the famed and prolific Critical Input, I believe is now using, well, last I spoke to him, he was using a PlayStation controller, not this one, but the previous one for the PS4, with the grip button, the back button attachment, I believe, and he was having a great time with it. And so I know it's not impossible to do. I just haven't ever really done it. But today that changes. So let's quickly take a look at what we have going on in our configuration. Here we go. This is probably going to end up being a template that I save at the end of the day. I'll save this template. I'll post it to our Steam controller config Discord channel in the TRICOM. And I'll probably use this in other games. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna approach this like building a FPS template that can be usable in many games. And I think Roboquest is a good game to do that with, because while it is, I don't know, kind of simple, there's not a lot of complex mechanics, it has all of the things, right? It's got running and sliding and aiming down sights and weapons with alternate fires, and it's fast-paced, and so there's a lot of those basic kind of FPS, you know, characteristics. So we're gonna sort of build for those in our config, which more or less I think I have, and then that's gonna be that. We'll carry it over into different games, and we'll see how we tweak it as we go. I'm not gonna be using this all the time. That's not my intention. In fact, I wasn't even going to be using it tonight to play Warzone. To tell you the truth, I do not prefer this controller over a Steam controller, not by a long shot. It feels extremely regressive in that regard. I feel like I'm taking many steps back, but it is a challenge, and it's an interesting challenge. And I'm approaching it that way. I'm approaching it like it's a challenge, and I'm not expecting it to outperform the Steam controller, just like I would. When I got the Steam controller, I didn't expect it to outperform a mouse and keyboard. I knew that what I was going to do was going to be a challenging experience, but I was interested to see what would happen. What's the best that I can do with that Steam controller? Now my approach with this is going to be what's the best I can do with this controller. So far, I can tell you, I don't know if I'm going to blow any minds. This is not a demonstration of amazing skill or talent with this DualSense controller. It is merely a Steam controller guy fumbling his way through, trying to learn how to play a dang game with a regular gamepad, with maybe a less than regular configuration. And here's the configuration. Left trigger is right mouse, right trigger is left mouse. Right shoulder is melee, left shoulder is our ability. I haven't labeled anything yet. Honestly, I just have not had time. I wasn't planning on this being the thing that we were gonna do today. I didn't have any time to label things and prepare this to make it look nice. But either way, it is what it is. We're not using any gamepad buttons on here. We're using all mouse and keyboard functions. And our joystick is a mouse. We may change this, but here's a funny thing. I was most excited about the DualSense controller because I wanted to experiment with flick stick. And if you don't know, I recommend you go and look that up on YouTube sometime, because the amazing Jib Smart invented this method of using a joystick to control your look in conjunction with a gyro, and it's brilliant. I won't get into it right now, but it didn't work for me, at least not through Steam. I had to tweak it way too much. I was running out of time, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to use this just because I want to use it. I want to use it because it's better. And currently, it doesn't feel better for me. And a lot of this is very new, using a joystick on my right hand, using a joystick to look around. I'm not used to this. And what surprised me the most so far is that I am using a joystick mouse function. Check this out. I'm so surprised to say this, but I'm using a joystick mouse. I'm outputting only the horizontal axis, so there's no vertical movements. I'm handling all vertical movement with my gyro, and I mean, here's our dead zone. We've got, well, you know, I actually may want to change this, but not yet, not yet. We're gonna get into the game and see how things feel. And what makes this work, because normally I would say, one of the downsides to a gamepad is that the joystick, you're limited in your ability to turn around. It just takes a long time. Even if you increase your sensitivity, it's almost like increasing your mouse sensitivity. If you increase your mouse sensitivity to the point where tiny little movement does, you know, a 180, that might be great for when you need to do a 180, but then every other time you don't need to do a 180 and you need to move just a little bit, you're gonna be way too sensitive. And then we can get into a conversation about acceleration and all that, but that's neither here nor there. Relevant as it is, we'll get into that another time. But here's the solution. use the joystick, but then make a click action when you're engaging the joystick to enter a new layer. And within the new layer, which is our S layer, it's a snap layer. So we have our snaps. Yes, our snaps are back. And they are going to be what I think makes this all possible. We'll be able to use joystick look as slow as it is. And in fact, I've even turned it down. I've even made the joystick look a little bit slower than you normally would, because I'm only using it for circle strafing and for, you know, navigation around the map when I don't need to go quickly. But if I need to turn quickly, I can click that right joystick in, either left or right, and I can snap by a certain degree left and right. I've tuned it to sort of feel like if this is the edge of my screen right here, and I snap to the left, that edge comes right in front of me. So the idea is, if I'm firing at an enemy and I know there's an enemy over here at the edge of the screen, instead of turning my hands to go shoot him, I can keep my hands straight and then push and click that joystick to then move that to right in front of me. Does that make sense? Very similar to how we do it on the Steam controller, despite on the Steam controller we're using a mouse on that touchpad. And then we have our 180 snap, which is very important, and that's activated in the same layer, the same way, except instead of it being a left or right click, it's an up or down click. And the neat thing about this is because our joystick is only outputting the horizontal data, when we go up and click, it doesn't affect our look. Doesn't make us look, you know, up or down or left and right, unless we're at an angle, of course. And then another cool thing is if we're circle strafing and we want to circle strafe faster, all we have to do is push our joystick up and then to the edge. The far edge, straight across, is going to be full speed. But if we go up a little bit, it's not moving us up because we're only going horizontal. But what it is doing is it is decreasing the speed at which we're turning, letting us adjust our circle strafe either slowly or quickly. That's the concept, and we will see if it actually works out. I'm excited to try this while still being a little annoyed that I don't have a Steam controller in hand and I'm not riding on a freaking train right now. But I'm not going to be bitter anymore. Here we go. Where's our sound? There it is. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here we go. There it is. Okay. So this is our joystick. We're spinning it. Look at us. Look at us spinning our joystick. All right. Pretty slow, right? And that feels really slow to me. That would kind of be a nightmare. One of the things I don't like is when it runs. I'm going to change something already. We're going to go here, and we're going to turn off this auto run function. We're going to put a similar type function over here on a click. So now when we click, we're going to run after a slide. Slide, and then at least it should work. Let's try it again. Let's see what's going on. Probably need to increase the delay. All right, let's see. Is it set on a hold? Oh, I bet you it's set on a hold. It is. All right. Okay, so now we can slide into a run. And that's one of the nice things about this whole Steam controller, or yeah, Steam controller configurator is that you can stack things. You can set up your own little macros and you can have your own little things that you like the most. So if you play a game and you're like, man, every time I do like a slide thing in this game, he comes out of the slide into a run. I wish all games were like that. Well, my friend, all games can be like that. And you could just bake that into your config, make that your template, carry that over into your other games, and now every other game has that movement mechanic that you liked in that other game. That's what we've done here. We're limited on buttons. We don't have grip buttons. I don't got touch pads that I can put D-pads under for like 8, 9 or more additional buttons. I don't have a lot of things that the Steam controller has, so I'm having to get really creative with how I stack things and how I map things. So far, I think it's going to work out, but we definitely needed, you know, for circle strafing, it's very annoying when your character starts running when you don't really want him to. And now we're not accidentally running when we're trying to circle strafe. I think we may need to increase the gyro sensitivity a bit. So, all right, this is the speed of looking around just using the joystick. And if we want to look around faster, all we have to do is be looking in that direction and then click. That's clicking to the left, clicking to the right, and then we can do our 180 very easily. All the while we have full gyro control because our gyro is essentially always on. Okay. Oh wait. We gotta jump back out of here. I gotta check one more thing. I'm pretty sure some of the difficulty curve and some of the damage and health has been modified here. So before I jump in, oh, look we've got like a new hero, Commando. Destroy 1,000 enemy robots. Yeah, all right. I like having goals. Okay, I'm gonna turn this down to standard because I'm scared. I'm not a controller guy, and this is gonna be a learning experience. We might bump this up if we're lucky, then hey, we're gonna bump this up. We're gonna have fun with it, but we're gonna start out easy or standard. All right. This is different too. Now we can access our equipment from here. That's kind of cool. It's nice. All right, what do we want to go with? I think I want to go precision. I'm going to go with the Scout Sniper. I think this is what we should do, because this is really going to put us to the test. All right, Raid. Do you think we're ready?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Should I go anyway?
Maybe.
All right. Well, here goes nothing. Oh, come on. what is that? I don't know what I just got, but it made a cool sound. Oh, I like this one. The Sheriff's Carbine. Have I ever heard of a game called Fur? No, I don't think so. Throw a link in there. I'll check it out. Oh, yeah. That's that really rad, stylized, sort of timing-based action thing. Yeah, I have. I have that game. I haven't played it in a really long time, but I was actually just talking about that to somebody yesterday. That same game. What's reload? Oh, okay, B. Well, circle. That's gonna be the biggest challenge, is remembering all these things. Oh, this is new. Oh, I need the key. Okay. Whoops, how did I do that? I don't know what I hit there. Okay. All right, that's not so bad. I'm honestly feeling a lot better than I thought I was going to be feeling right now. This is good. I'm encouraged. Okay. Of course, we did lower the difficulty. But don't think about that. All right, now this song makes me think of that game, Furry, or is it Fury? I'm not sure, but this music makes me think of the music from that game. Like this part in particular right here. Doesn't it? Doesn't it? Right? Oh, I like this one too. Should I? Should I? Yeah, I should. Wait, no, maybe. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I should. Let's just keep it. We'll keep it moving. We'll keep it interesting. So. Oh, he looks different. I'm pleased to say that I don't feel like aiming is worse. I don't feel like I'm aiming worse with this controller than with the Steam controller. But I will say, this is taking so much more effort than a Steam controller, only because this is so different for me, and I'm having to think about what my fingers are doing a lot more than I do with a config that I might, have been using for many, many years. So it's not a complaint, just an observation. Damn. Gain 30 shield replenish when using the Repair bot. I think that's good. I should do that. I keep forgetting what reload is. All right, let's change it up. Let's use these little sawed-off shotguns. Yeah, let's just do it. I feel like I want. I might want to increase the snap distance for those left and right snaps. Let's go ahead and do that real quick while we're here. Let's go ahead and go into this layer. We're going to go to the mouse delta. Let's go 17. All right, let's see how that feels. I think that'll be better. We'll see. All right, let's try and get up close and personal this time. All right, as much as my right hand is actually hurting right now because how dumb it is, and I'm putting way too much force on the controller. It doesn't change the fact that this game is so fucking fun. Oh my god. Even when I feel extremely derpy, this is still such a good game. I love jumping on them and then shooting them, or jumping on them and then spinning around behind them and punching them. It's just so many fun ways to take these dudes out. And I can jump while I look around. I can jump while I aim. Because of course, because why in the world would you not? Yeah, that soundtrack for that game Fury is phenomenal. There's a lot of really great artists on there. I think Danger has a song on there too. His music is some of the best. There's a lot of great music on there. Oh, I got an upgrade. Okay. Yeah, gotta pay attention. Health. That's a good idea. Oh my god. I just figured it out. I just figured out why Microsoft and Sony don't make a bigger deal about gyro. I've just figured it out. And I won't tell you right now, but I will tell you in a moment. was that? What was that thing? I have no idea what I just picked up. No, thank you. Oh, I think that was a key. Grandma's shotgun. Yeah, let's do it. All right, here we go. This is it. Oh man, not a good rank, but man, we did it. That felt exhilarating. Oh, it's because we took time. That doesn't count then. Oh boy. Oh, so good. So good. This game is so much fun. All right. All right, let's talk. Let's talk about some observations. These hands. My hands have never been this sweaty in my life. And look, I understand. I know. This controller, oh my God, this is insane. For one thing, I'm not wearing my thumb socks. Has nothing to do with the problem at hand, but this makes the it's gonna sound so stupid, but it makes the joysticks more comfortable for my fingers. And look, I have them, makes them more comfortable. I'm gonna do it. Now, I don't get it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why my hands are sweating so much. I'm not going to blame it on like the texture of the controller because look, I don't know if you know this, but the texturing on the plastic is tiny little X's and squares and circles and triangles. Oh my God. So obviously that means that it's very, very high quality plastic, even though it doesn't feel high quality, even though it feels very, it feels unremarkable. It doesn't feel nice. It doesn't feel rubberized or textured or anything interesting. It feels boring. Sure, it's not glossy, I guess, if that's, you know, like a thing, but it's not. This is not. I'm not impressed with the texturing on this, and it certainly doesn't do anything to combat sweat. Not that that's what it's supposed to do, but I'm just making an observation. My hands don't sweat like this with a Steam controller, but I'll tell you, there's a big reason probably why my hands are sweating right now. And like I said, it's because I'm putting a lot of force on this controller. And I'm sure like once I learn to just chill and relax, things will change. But here's the difference. The Steam controller, you know, here, let me change some of this audio real quick. This music is great, but it gives me, it's too hyped for a conversation. So, okay, there. All right, now look, The Steam controller is extremely lightweight. I use my controller plugged in. I prefer to have it plugged in. I'm weird, okay? I like having my controller plugged in. And one of the benefits of using a controller plugged in is that I can take the batteries out. This takes two AA batteries. I have a pack of rechargeables that I bought, and those are what I use. And they work great, and they last a long time, especially when, like me, you rarely use them. So when I want to use the controller at a distance or with another computer that I'm more casual with, then I'll use the batteries. It increases the weight of the controller. Some may appreciate that. As a gyro guy, I appreciate a very lightweight controller. Because if you think about it, a lightweight controller just, I don't know, feels good. Man, just putting this back in my hand after holding this for the last 30 minutes or whatever, this feels so good. So freaking good. And of course, now, caveat, when I say it feels good, part of what I'm saying, I think, is that this feels familiar. And that's why so many people hated the Steam controller, is because they've got 20 years going like this, feeling these feels, and then they get this in their hand, they're like, oh my God, what is going on? I get it. That's what I'm experiencing right now with this DualSense controller. So I know that a lot of this is just new. It's just a new experience. But nonetheless, I'm going to point out the experience that I'm having, because I feel like that's what Raid wants. Like, that's part of the challenge or whatever. I'm assuming, right?
No.
Okay. I guess not. But when I'm moving around, when I'm moving forward, when I'm looking around, I'm not exerting any force. With a joystick, you're exerting force. You're pushing forward to move. And then you're pulling back to go backwards, and you're pushing to the side, and then you're pulling to the other side. I'm not doing that with a Steam controller. I never do that. With the touchpad to look around, I'm just swiping. Pew, pew, pew. I've got my swipe so dialed in that my swipe takes me to exactly where I need to go with very, very little force involved, because these are capacitive surfaces, and I just have to just rest my thumb there, just plop it down there, and move it around, and it does what it needs to do. When I'm moving forward, I just move my thumb up. And if I need to move back, I just move my thumb down. I'm not pulling, I'm not pushing, I'm not exerting force. Not that it's a tremendous amount of force, but hey, if we're talking about these things, we might as well be as detailed as possible and as specific as possible. So the force that I'm exerting here for these joysticks is causing me to have to hold the controller a little tighter than I would normally hold a controller. I hold this thing so lightly. I hold this so lightly most of the time. When I'm playing a game I'm comfortable with, and when I'm playing an FPS or something, I do best when I'm in the most relaxed state possible, letting my fingers just glide across these touch pads, clicky click now and then, spin around, do my thing, use the gyro. Very lightweight experience, not just in terms of weight, but in terms of force exerted. This tremendous amount of weight difference, huge. Maybe, I don't know what the previous controller felt like, I'm not sure, but this feels extremely heavy, surprisingly heavy. And I can understand how someone might feel this controller and think, oh man, that's high quality controller because of how dense and heavy it is. That's a perception, absolutely, and I'm not going to discount that perception. It's not my perception, though, that's for sure, because I feel this and I think, oh, this is actually feels kind of weird, because when you move it, you can feel like the weights, like the haptic motors or whatever the heck is going on in there. You can feel it sort of like fluttering around, and it almost feels kind of cool, but it doesn't feel solid by any means. But it kind of feels neat, I guess, you know? I don't know, it feels different. Good, bad, it's hard to say. But one thing's for sure, whatever mechanics are going on, plus whatever sort of, large battery I'm sure exists inside of here, the weight is tremendous. And it's quite a bit more than I'm used to. So that, coupled with the fact that I'm pushing forward and I'm pushing this thing, and I'm constantly forcing, I'm exerting force, I think that's what's making my hands sweaty. That's the conclusion that I've come to. And all right, now here's the reason why I think that these game system makers are not pushing gyro, because I think that it would divide the user base. I think that you would jump into a match, just like now, you know, gamepad players historically aren't going to want to play with a mouse and keyboard player, because I think everyone would agree that without additional assistance, the gamepad player is going to have a worse time, you know? And that makes sense, and that's fine. It's understandable. Like when you play Warzone, there's a lot of aim assistance, and if you play with a gamepad, and it makes sense. And I'm not criticizing any of that. I would say you have to have aim assistance, and that's why it exists in the gamepad console world, right? Because you need it. People want to have fun when they play games. So it makes sense. But the fact that you can use a gyro and actually excel higher than a mouse player can means that what would happen is that divide between skill. The skill gap would increase so much. You would have players that just don't understand what's going on. And all of a sudden, they're just getting trounced in online games. And then the developers are going to have to figure out, well, if a player is using gyro, how do we disable aim assistance for them? Because obviously that would be way too overkill. And then a gamer who's not using gyro, how do we give them aim assistance that doesn't feel unfair for the gyro player? And then how do you implement that reliably in your game so that you know for certain that you're applying aim assistance when you ought to, and you're not applying it when you shouldn't? I think it probably creates a lot of difficulty, and I'm sure that a lot of these developers know the value, and many of the people who put, you know, the gyro in this controller know how good that is. But I'm sure that they must look at that as sort of something that's too powerful, because it would really divide the player base, you know. And then there's the idea of well, I don't know. Let's jump into this again. We're gonna go into the next part of this this map and see how it goes. We'll get the audio going again. All right, here we go. Minigun, I don't think it's a good idea. Where's my map? Do I have a map button? Oh, where's the map button? N, okay. Let's map N real quick. We'll throw N over here. We're not using any of these. Well, we'll throw it up here. All right, I'm gonna stay with my precision build. Well, my precision and my shotgun. But I will go. Yeah, let's do this. Oh, shit. Got you first, you jerk. No, he stunned me. I hate that. Make sure we got everybody. Oh, shoot. That was new and interesting, and I liked it. Assault pistol. Is that the same pistol? That's just a higher level as my my default pistol. Let's do it. I like the pistol. We're gonna mess up our score by wasting time right here, but I need to change something. I need to take this off, this long press. It's giving me a delay when I do this function, and I don't want it there. Yeah, okay, that's fine. We're good. A, the quarry key. Oh, new level. Are you ready? Oh, how did he do it? No. Okay, hold on. I keep hitting the, I talked about this yesterday, I keep hitting this escape button accidentally. I don't need it there. I'm not using that button for anything, so. Yes. Upgrade. Ah! No, 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 no! Oh, I hate the stunning. The stunning is definitely my least favorite. I would rather a freaking bomb or a shotgun to the face than to just be stunned and have to tap arrow keys to get myself out of the stun. That's, oh, that's the worst. Okay. Some things that we need to make adjustments to. I feel like I need to increase this sensitivity here a little bit because I have the option, I do have the option of not fully spinning, but just spinning slowly by holding the joystick at an angle. And I think that would, I think that's gonna be better. Because then I still have the option to turn faster. And then when I go up and hit the change weapon button, I need to move my thumb not as far, because I'm moving my thumb really far, and I don't need to. All right, let's go. We did precision. Let's just go assault this time. Assault ability. Oh, the longbow. Did they? Oh my God! Really? Oh, this is awesome. So it seems like they have removed the very annoying dampening that was on the bow. When you would use the bow and you would pull back, all of a sudden your sensitivity would be dampened. And I get why they do that. But for me, it was always very annoying because I want to be in control of those sorts of things. So now it seems like they have actually changed that. I think. I mean, this feels exactly the same as this. Oh, that's really great. Hey, We'll see you later. Hail Satan. Have a good night. I'm glad you enjoyed the show, and I hope you come back again. I'll see you on the TRICOM later. See ya. Oh, shoot. We weren't actually supposed to take this. But I'm kind of glad we did. Yeah, definitely go precision since we're using this. Is it the same as what we got? Yeah. All right, whatever. Weapon abilities deal 35% increased damage and recharge 35% faster. Melee recharge is faster as well. Hey, that sounds good. All right, this should be fun. One thing that I should point out that I'm doing a whole lot of, you may notice, is I'm resetting my gyro. I'm locking the gyro down, resetting my hands, I should say. And the way I'm doing that is similar to how I do it on the touchpad, on the Steam controller, and similar to how I did it on the that desktop config that we built yesterday. I'm just clicking down on that joystick. When I click down in either up, down, left, or right, I do a snap, right? But if I click down straight up, you know, without moving it, then it pauses that gyro so that I can quickly reorient my hands. And I'll do that really quick, and I'll give that to them. This joystick does function really good in that sort of capacity where you're firing it really fast while you're moving your gyro. And I would imagine that if the controller was a little less optimally shaped, or these joysticks weren't placed as well, then you might accidentally be putting force at an angle when you're doing those really quick presses while also moving your hands to reset your hands. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's a potential problem point that is not really a problem here, so that's a good thing. Oh, shit. Thought there was someone behind me. Deployable minions have 50% increased health. Yeah, I'll take it. Oh, god damn it. Dual crossbows. Okay, let's try it. Am I going the right way? No. This way. Right? Wait. Yeah. No. Oh, it's like a big circle. I always get so confused with circles. They're easily the most confusing of all the shapes. It's like, how can they be so round? I don't understand. Armor. No, wrong way. This way. This way. I got it. Carry on. Okay, I think that tweak that we made to the joystick speed is gonna help us out. I think it's better now. I think things are going well. Nice. Shock ricochets. Blast sniper. What is a blast sniper? That sounds like a blast.
Acknowledged.
Wrong way. like this gun. Things would sure go a lot different for me if I took my time. But where's the fun in that? No, you son of a biscuit. God damn it, that's so, it's so infuriating. Oh, I hate that so much. Well, let's think about this for a second. Take off our thumb socks. Wipe off our sweaty hands. Okay. So, here's the annoying thing with those guys that stun you. You have to push like left, 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 which means you have to go left, left, left with this. And it feels ridiculous. And it's very annoying. With a keyboard, you're just like, da-da-da, you know, you're just like, you hit those keys so fast, so it's like not a problem. I am stunned way longer than I normally am, and I can't get out of it as easily as I can if I'm using a keyboard or if I'm using one of these. Because if I need to hit up or left or down 3 times rapidly, I can do that so fast right here. Just doo-doo-doo. I'm not even clicking. I'm just touching 3 times real fast. With this, I have to push it over and over and over, like literally push or pull, and it is simply not as fast as being able to just tap a key on a keyboard or just lightly touch the touchpad with my thumb on the Steam controller. So that's one thing that I definitely take away from this experience, is that if I were to play a game like this that has a really lousy mechanic like that, then I would change this. And let me show you what I would do. I would do something like, you know, we don't have very many buttons to really work with here, but I would probably do something like, you know, I'm not using these scrolls so much. I could figure out a different place to put scroll, you know, and maybe even make a mode shifted D-pad here that has, you know, the equivalent buttons. And what I would do is go into each one of them, and I would turn hold to repeat on, so that when I get stunned, I can just touch this or press the D-pad button, and hold to repeat would, you know, rapidly fire those buttons. And the mode shift button, I'm not sure what I would use for that. Probably like reload. I'd probably use circle, which in this case would be B. turn 4-way overlap off, or 8-way off, no overlap. And then when I'm holding B, I would just be able to hit that, and it would rapidly, fire that sequence. It's that because that's so annoying. I don't know if you noticed what happened. I had died, and then I used my last life, and then I got stunned. And when I got stunned, like every time you get shot or something, it's like it resets the little sequence that you have to type or that you have to push. And either way, I couldn't hit it fast enough, and I just died. And it's a lousy way of dying. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like, oh, they got me. It feels like a dumb game mechanic that just sort of punishes you for no real reason. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little bitter about that. But if that's the complaint that I take away from this experience, outside of the discomfort in getting used to holding this controller and all the things involved, my main takeaway is how annoying that mother effer is, not how annoying this is. While this is a little annoying because the new experience. I mean, look, I'm not crazy. If I went up to a DualShock, a regular gamepad user, and I dropped one of these in their hands, they would throw a temper tantrum. And I know that's true because there's dozens and dozens of articles and videos of people throwing little tantrums because this is so weird. And they're not wrong. It's really weird. But it feels so good. Okay, objectively, the triggers on this controller are so much better than the triggers on this controller. Now, I know this has adaptive triggers, but not here. And the fun of the adaptive experience and the haptic experience that this controller offers is more of how the game controls you than how you control the game. At least the way I perceive such features. They don't make you better at the game. They don't make you better able to control the game. They let the game be able to influence you more, influence your experience in a good, positive way. And a lot of the positive praise that I've heard about this controller, specifically in terms of those haptic features and the adaptive triggers, is how more immersive it feels. How more you feel like you're in the game because you can feel when the character is moving through a certain area and the way things feel in your hand. And I get that, and I think that's awesome. And I've never been so close to wanting to buy a console before, simply because I want to experience all of that in all the different games that they're gonna, use such features on. I think that's really awesome. And I think it's a neat way for the game to reach out and touch the player. That's what those features are. But the features here are the other way around. The features in the Steam controller let you, the player, reach out and control the game and touch the game in a very different way than you can with this. So while for my first time playing with this controller in an FPS game, I will say that this has so much potential, so much more than I was anticipating, thinking when Ray told me that this is what we were going to do today. I don't have to grasp for positive things to say about the experience that I've just had using this controller in a game. And I'm very surprised by that. And that goes to show you, you just got to be open-minded, because you really may be surprised. But like I said before, this is not a replacement for a Steam controller. It's very impressive what it can do, and it's amazingly impressive how quickly Valve has implemented support for this thing. I'm blown away. And FYI, you got to run the beta version of Steam, I think. At least at the time of me plugging this in over the weekend, you needed to use the beta version. Things may change any day now, but you have to use the beta. And there's no problem with it. I mean, I don't have any issues. So I'm impressed. But it's, it's not going to replace this. And I will point out real specifically, this is not a comparison video between these two. And if you want a comparison, like a real detailed comparison from it would require me to spend more hours using this before I can really give you a good comparison. But if you're interested in that sort of thing, I can do that. But I will point out right now that the triggers are so much better on the Steam controller because a couple of reasons. One, the shape of them is phenomenal. I adore the shape of these triggers. My fingers overlap and they sort of curl around these triggers. And if you don't know any better, you might not notice this, but the edges of these triggers, they're pretty sharp. I mean, not sharp like it's not gonna fucking cut you or anything, but I just mean like the angle of it, it's a pretty hard angle. And you feel that, you feel like you're touching up against a hard angle. Both on the inside of my finger right here and up here where my finger wraps around. So both the main points of contact, and that may be because I'm used to using a larger trigger like this, so it has to do with how I'm holding the controller. If I held it like this with the tips of my fingers, or maybe like this, no, even that, it's not comfortable feeling the edges. These are just not comfortable triggers in my opinion. They've got good action. They're not too hard to press. They're not too easy to press. But the second shortcoming is they're not dual stage triggers like the Steam controller triggers are. Maybe the advanced, what is it called? The trigger thing? Maybe that will be implemented into the Steam controller configurator so that I can tell it, hey, when I go halfway, stop and require a little bit more force. From what I understand, the adaptive triggers are capable of doing that. That's sort of what they do. And if I could control that, and I could say, hey, this trigger, I want it to be dual stage. So I want to push to a bump. I want to feel that and know, okay, now I'm engaging stage 1. And I want to have to forcibly push through that to engage stage 2. Technically, this has 2 stages. Technically, I can set multiple stages. At least I can. And that's good. But because there's no tactile resistance to separate stage 1 from stage 2, you just push right through it. And maybe over time, I will learn when that stage, separation begins and ends. But really, I doubt it. I doubt it would be something that I would bake into a config just because it's sort of unreliable, especially if you're using gyro. You're moving around a lot, and you sort of want that resistance there to differentiate between stage 1 and stage 2. And with the Steam controller, you have that. It's built into the hardware. And it feels really, really nice. It's very satisfying. You know very well if you're engaging stage 1 or stage 2. And what's also nice about that is it gives you further options for how you want to control your controller. And your config can be modified for, you can say have one level of sensitivity. And this is what I do with my Steam controller configs. One base level of gyro sensitivity. A second level of gyro sensitivity when I soft pull the left trigger, which is going to be ADS in almost every config that I make. And then a third level of sensitivity when I full pull that left trigger. Same thing for the right trigger. Depending on how you're shooting, if you're hip firing, you might want a different level of sensitivity. And it's nice to just have those options and to really know which stage you're engaging. I don't know that currently with this controller, and that's a real big limitation in my book. But I am hopeful because I believe that the hardware is capable of doing this. And it's just hopefully a matter of it getting implemented into Steam, into the Steam controller configurator. And if that's the case, then I will absolutely embrace that change and let you all know how we could take advantage of that to make some dual stage action a little more reliable, a little more comfortable. The shoulder buttons, they're not bad at all. They're not bad at all. A lot of people don't like the Steam controller's shoulder buttons. I am one of those people. I'm not a big fan of them, but I think I might like them more than these. Not that these are bad at all, but the reason that I think I like these more is because, you know, it's sort of hard to see, I think. But if the button, the shoulder button, it goes out, it juts out. And what's neat about it is you can click it by obviously clicking down, but you can also click it by clicking to the side. And that is nice because sometimes your hand is just not in the right spot and you still want to be able to click that. And it's nice that the side of your finger can push and click that very reliably and comfortably. It feels deliberate. It feels like they did that on purpose, and I like that. And I have heard lots of reports of people complaining that these triggers break, or these bumpers break. But I have 4 of these controllers out of the box, and they have been in use for some of them since some of them were first run Steam controllers. They've been used by tons of people. They've even been used by little children who have drooled on them and dropped them and smashed them and done all those things that children do to controllers. And none of my shoulder buttons are broken. None of them. None of them have any problems. The only problem that I have experienced with the Steam controller is one of my controllers, the left grip, it doesn't fire completely reliably anymore. It still fires, but it takes a little bit more force. Whereas any of the other controllers, it fires very, very easily and very reliably. And I think there's probably something that I can do. And that's one of the beautiful things about the Steam controllers. You can just dig in there, you know, and open everything up. I've replaced buttons on mine. I've made little modifications, and it's fun. You can really tinker with these. And there's probably some tinkering that I can do in here to make these grip buttons, or at least that one in that one case, make it function a little better. But I'm lucky enough to have multiple ones, and I don't need to. I use a different one. So, you know, I mean, and that's something that that's not even relevant with this controller. You don't have grip buttons. And I don't understand why. I don't understand. Hopefully they release some sort of attachment for this that allows you to have grip buttons, because grip buttons are amazing, especially with this controller configurator. Even if you're thinking, oh, what would I use it for? I'm used to having all the functions where they are already. Well, you can use them as mode shifts, you know, and even if you don't rely on them as it is right now, like I rely on grip buttons. That's how I jump. So it feels weird for me to be jumping with my thumb, because I'm so used to jumping with my hands, you know, squeezing. These usually, what finger is it? What finger do I really? It's these right here. These 2 knuckles right here. Those are the ones that I'm hitting these grip buttons with. And it doesn't take a lot of force at all. They're really easy to hit. And here you don't even have the option. So hopefully Sony gives us that option, and they let us buy some sort of attachment. You know, at which case it's probably going to cost $30 or $40. I don't know. You're looking at $100 for a controller that still can't do as much in terms of input as this controller. But obviously, if someone asked me, and someone actually did recently, what controller I recommended, and I told them to get one of these. So it's I have a complicated perspective. So don't think that I'm shitting on this. I'm really not. I'm really not. I'm giving it. I'm being as open-minded as possible. But I know a lot of you are from the Steam controller community, and you guys are Steam controller nerds like me. And so I want to give you an accurate representation of what my experience is, because I think a lot of you, like me, are curious. You know, and you want to try something new. Maybe you've been using this for a really long time, and you're seeing all the hype around this controller, and you want to know what the deal is. So that's how I feel about it. And I have to say, I am surprised. I am pleasantly surprised by what we've experienced today. I mean, obviously I didn't like, you know, beat the game or anything, but I had more fun than I was expecting to have. And if you know me, that's what I care about. And if I'm doing badly in a game, but I'm still having fun, then it's thumbs up all the way. And if I'm winning in a game, but I'm not having fun, then next game, I'm not even interested. So it's all about the fun factor for me. And despite the flaws that I've pointed out, the fun factor is still here with this. So that's good. Is the adaptive triggers and vibration working on PC? I believe that some rumble is working, but not haptics. So within the Steam controller configurator, you have options for haptics, and when you set those, nothing happens. But if you go in-game and you turn on rumble, I think that's what they call it, then that does fire. But I turn it off, so I don't really have any experience with that. The adaptive triggers are not working yet. And that was what I was talking about earlier. And my idea, my hope, is that eventually we'll have access to the adaptive trigger setting, and we can set that for ourselves so that we can create a dual stage experience, much like we have on the Steam controller. And that'll be a huge benefit that will bring this a little more in line with this 5-plus-year-old controller. And then if we can throw some more money at Sony to get some rear grip button, then that brings us even a little more in line with this 5-plus-year-old controller. So hopefully the future will look a little bit more like the past in terms of input options. But for what this does offer, I say pick it up. And if you can get a Steam controller, get a freaking Steam controller, my friend. Like get one just to have. But in terms of moving forward, this is going to be probably supported much more than the Steam controller. I mean, there's no maybe about it. This is going to get more support than the Steam controller. I think Valve knows that there's going to be way more people with these than with these. And they're going to put a lot more effort into supporting this and hopefully the features that this offers than they are the Steam controller, unfortunately. The touchpad does work though, so that's nice if that's something that is important to you. Touchpad works. I think the microphone works. I don't know if the microphone works. I don't know. But the speaker works, and I think the headphones work as well. I haven't tried it. I'm not sure. But if the speaker works, I would assume that the headphone port probably works as well. So, yeah. I know. Man, Steam controller too. It's the stuff dreams are made of. Wouldn't that be amazing? Man, a Steam controller too. You know what I want? I want better shoulder buttons. I know I said that I like these more than the DualSense controller, but I think they can be improved. Certainly the placement, but I don't want them to ruin the triggers. And I want 2 additional rear grip buttons, right? Because that would be a game changer. My left grip is my mod button, my shift button, which changes other functions. And then my right grip is always jump. And then left grip, right grip at the same time is my context action button, use, E or F. And I love that. I love that because think about it. I can open things, I can revive people, I can open crates, doors, without sacrificing my fingers to ADS or shoot or my thumbs to look and move. And it's so nice just being able to fly around a level and open things and interact with things without having to move your thumb and press buttons. Like there's really just so little. I do all my weapon selection on the touchpad. I do my snaps on the touchpad. I do my gyro dampening on the touchpad, and my touchpad is a mouse. And then my left touchpad as well has a whole bunch of different functions. And just real quick, this isn't a comparison video, but underneath the D-pad or the touchpad here, you can put a D-pad, which will have additional buttons. And you can access them just by having your finger here and clicking. Over here, you could effectively do the same thing, but here's the problem. To access it, you would have to go over to that side and then click. And in doing so, you're going to be engaging whatever this joystick function is in order to press down. Over here, not so much, because you would use this as a regular mouse. And by touching over here, you're not doing anything. By touching over here, you're not doing anything. You're not doing anything until you swipe. So you could just touch and click. And now you're accessing a whole bunch of different buttons. And the way I have it is I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. One in the middle. And the middle one is my gyro dampening. Deadening, essentially, to reset my hands. So no matter what they do, we're still living with dual joysticks, for better or for worse. But I will say, I'm using them differently than I thought I would. I thought I would be using flick stick, and I'm not using flick stick. I'm using a horizontal-only turning, using mouse joystick to horizontally turn. And then I'm using the clicks to engage snaps so that I can turn quickly. And it works better than I thought it would. I think I still need to tweak some things in the config so that I can hit those snaps a little more reliably. But I think a lot of it too is just going to come down to my hands getting used to the new form factor, to new positions for these joysticks. My thumbs are not used to being out here like this. They're used to being right here, resting right here with, you know, no force, no pressure exerted. But instead, I'm holding them right here, and this is not a natural position for me. So this actually takes, you know, like if I rest my hands like normal, they sort of go right here. This requires deliberate placement. Not the end of the world, but it's something to note, especially if, like me, you've been using something like this, which is so low impact. You're going to notice it. You're going to notice it big time. And you might even like it. You know, there's a lot of people that prefer using a joystick. There's a lot of Steam controller players that prefer using this joystick to move around. I don't understand why. I can understand why you might do that as sort of training wheels when you're transitioning, but the touchpad is just light years better in terms of capability, in terms of speed, in terms of increased skill ceiling. You can just do so much more, but that's a separate thing. Valve gave us the option, and I appreciate that. So, Raid?
Yes.
Are you happy with everything we've learned here today?
Well, what does that mean?
Well, I mean, you canceled freaking Warzone Wednesday. You broke hearts so that I would put together this config and attempt to play an FPS using a DualSense controller. And I want to know, do you feel like this was a time well spent? And did we come away with valuable data?
No.
I think we did. I think this went better than I expected.
Maybe.
No, I think it definitely did. And to tell you the truth, I'm actually looking forward to using this in more games. But not as much as I'm looking forward to playing with this again. Especially after 2 days of using that controller. Okay. One last thing. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you guys had a good night. I had a great night. I had a lot of fun with that. I had a lot of fun with the game and with that new update, except for those stinking shock dudes. Fuck those guys. But other than that, it was a good night. So I hope you all have a great day tomorrow. And if you've got nothing better going on tomorrow night, come on by and we'll hang out for a bit. I don't know if Raid has anything in store, but who knows? I'm sure we could spend some time together. Maybe we'll fire up the old Steam controller again. And I don't know, maybe we'll play some Warzone. No promises, no promises. But we'll see. Thanks again, everybody. And I'm gonna post this config in the Steam controller config channel in the TRICOM. I encourage any of you guys who are using one of these, give it a try and let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you have any suggestions for how I can tweak it and tune it and make it a little better, by all means, let me know. And I think it was Renetta who was asking about using a controller as a MIDI controller. And man, I've been thinking about that so much, you know. And today I was doing some work in Bitwig trying to troubleshoot a bug that I found that is really making me crazy. And the whole time I kept thinking, man, I'd really rather be getting this controller going with some of these instruments. And we're going to do that. So that's definitely on the horizon. I can't wait. All right, that's all for now. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.